I'm going to get started. Welcome to our monthly BlueTech Global Connect, the first for this year. This one is on plastics and the circular economy. We're saying ocean plastics, but it's plastics anywhere. And every month we have presentations. Next, please. You can see some of the coming Global Connect. So today, biofouling, anti-biofouling on 18 February, water wastewater and the circular economy in March. And then we'll be working with NASA on the water space and circular economy in April. Our purpose is to bring together innovative BlueTech small and medium-sized enterprises and really people from around the world that want to know about what they're doing and maybe can work with them. So our presenters are innovative SMEs. Every month, it is one US company and 2 international companies. The audience is very broad because the needs of our companies are different, and each of the companies will talk about that. And this is the same agenda which you have today, we follow every month. Next, please. I think you all know, but the UN Decade of Ocean Science and Sustainable Development started 21 days ago, January 1st of 2021, and runs until December 31st of 2030. And we look forward to working with organizations and companies around the world to support this very important effort. We'd like to announce that in conjunction with our partner Fotomoceano, which is the national cluster of Portugal, we've signed an agreement and are launching TMA Europe. And we really appreciate the opportunity to work once again with our BlueTech cluster partner in Portugal. Next, please. Announcing our BlueTech Week 2021. Our theme is Aqua Optimism, Inclusion, Inspiration, Innovation. And that will be November 15 through 19 of 2021. It will be virtual. And we're looking for partner organizations and panel topics. So if you have ideas, please share them with me. And just a quick recap for BlueTech Week 2020, which was virtual. We had great topics, great speakers, great contacts, and 665 attendees from 37 countries. Next, please. We have a great team. Unfortunately, we're losing Melissa Fischel. We'll have a more formal recognition later. But I want everybody to know that we are looking for an executive director and an intern. So if you have candidates, please ask them to send a resume to me. We have a small but mighty team, and we're looking to continue with that same tradition. Next, please. General disclaimer, we hope that there are investors out there that are interested in great companies, but you're on your own. This is not, we're not giving investment advice. Next, please. By registering for this event, you consented to receive marketing materials from us. We try not to overload people's emails, but if you want to, at any time, you can unsubscribe because we use an outside service called Constant Contact. Next, please. We ask you to set yourself to mute. Even the speakers, I would suggest you mute yourselves and turn off your camera until you are presenting and then come back on. But everybody else, we ask you to mute and turn off your camera. That'll save your bandwidth, and it's a little bit less distracting for the speakers. Please use the chat or conversation function for questions to the presenters. That is where you're going to be able to put something in. We do not have live questions. We want to be efficient, and Liz Whiteman, who's our moderator, will be looking at those. Next, please. So I'd like to introduce our featured guest speaker, who will also be our moderator, Liz Whiteman, who's the Executive Director of the California Ocean Science Trust. She will talk for 5-6 minutes, then I'll come back to just get ready and kick us off. And at 8 o'clock, we will start the presentations from our 3 companies. And each one will get 10 minutes. And then at the end of that time, there will be Q&A, which Liz has agreed to moderate. So Liz, over to you.
Great. Thank you so much for the opportunity to join you here this morning. Let me just pull up these slides and set to presentation mode. How does that look?
Perfect.
Great. Well, thank you again. And as you'll hopefully see in a moment, this couldn't be more timely for us as we look to try and find out what is the best value we can add for solutions to ocean plastic. Focus here in California, but interest globally. So just by way of a quick introduction, I'm privileged, as Michael said, to serve as the executive director of a pretty unusual nonprofit organization here in California that was actually established by state law, recognizing that there was a need and an opportunity to better connect cutting edge scientific research and technology with the realms of ocean decision making in our state. So ocean resource management and policy, on the basis of our belief that science-informed decision-making is really the best opportunity to accelerate progress towards a healthy, equitable, and productive coast and ocean. So just a slide to talk through a couple of highlights of the ways in which we try and build that bridge between the worlds of science and the worlds of ocean policy. We work a lot with the research community in the universities here in California and across the West Coast and US to try and find ways that the research that is being conducted is oriented to tackle the most pressing problems for our coast and ocean. And we try and draw additional research funding to the state to tackle the issues of priority to California. We often will convene expert panels to synthesize the state of the knowledge, but not just with a view to what is best known about a topic, but how do we provide actionable scientific recommendations? And we believe that is best done in most cases through a co-production model in which stakeholders on the relevant issue, whether it's ocean acidification, sea level rise, or fisheries management, are there at the table, sitting alongside and developing actionable knowledge with academic research scientists. We also conduct scientific reviews, principally of government documents, just to really strengthen the basis of decision making. You see here a picture of a big cargo tanker we recently reviewed for the state agency. The technology, sort of assessment of technology availability to treat ballast water and comply with federal and state standards on this issue. And then finally, but not least, we deliver actionable science recommendations and advice to the state. We serve as the formal science advisor to the cabinet level entity here in California called the California Ocean Protection Council. And we're also launching something that is a counterpart to that way in which we inform the administration. We're launching a science advice to lawmakers here in California, and that's actually our major fundraising effort at this time, seeking to deliver to legislative members and their staffers information that they can use to help grapple with these complex topics on which the science is rapidly evolving and our knowledge is often incomplete. And just on that, here's why this is a really timely opportunity for me to join and learn from the presenters in the discussion. I'm giving you a sneak peek of a report that we're planning to release in March of this year that has been a group of scientists from across the United States thinking through the risks of microplastic pollution to both human health, but particularly the marine environment, our ocean environment here in California. And just some quick highlights from what that report is going to show. Microplastics are leading to documented detrimental impacts both to human health and to marine life. We don't know the full scale of those effects. But that uncertainty should not preclude taking action now. And there are ways in which we can use a scientific approach to think through what is the most effective set of actions that can be taken by state regulators, by state policymakers, lawmakers, but also industry representatives as well. The report will highlight that we really do need advances in technologies to inventory and detect microplastics. But this is a problem that is going to persist. And we need to both tackle the fact that there is significant microplastic loading in the ocean right now. We can sort of say it's significant even as we don't exactly know how much. But we do know that macroplastics of today are microplastics of the future. And so figuring out how we can tackle the circumstance we have today is of critical importance. But in addition, we need to not forget that the most precautionary strategy for the future will be to figure out strategies to reduce plastic pollution, plastic production, and come up with use alternatives. So as we release this report, we're also interested in setting up new collaborations with scientists, with industry, to turn the conversation from one of characterizing the problem to one of figuring out a solution set and beginning to take action, focused here in California, but drawing on knowledge from elsewhere. So I put my contact details up here and would welcome conversation about the ways in which we might convene a cross-disciplinary, cross-sector dialogue to really sort of foster action on plastic pollution and microplastics. And with that, I will pause and just thank you again. I'm very much looking forward to the presentations and the discussion.
Thank you, Liz. That was great. If the slides could come back up, we'll just, okay, so our presenting companies today are Clewat, which stands for Clearwater, from Finland, Tide Ocean from Switzerland, and Resynergi, which is one of our member companies from the United States. I should mention that we have other companies, at least member companies, that are also focused on this. Another one is Clear Blue Sea, but every month we have one of our companies present. So we're thrilled to have Clewat, Tide Ocean, and Resynergi talk about this important topic. Next slide, please. Q&A, all right. Q&A will be moderated by Liz. Please use, for those that have arrived late, please mute yourselves. Please take down your video. And use the chat function to send questions. Next, please. Here is the information about our speakers today. We'll make this available for all of you. Next, please. Thank you for participating today. Please register for our upcoming events. They're already online. And we want to thank our co-sponsors, The Brink. We are a proud partner of the BlueTech Cluster Alliance, and special thanks to Liz Whiteman. And if somebody wants to sponsor this series, we'd love to talk to them. Next, please. I want to give a special thanks to Melissa Fischel, who is leaving us tomorrow. She's been with us for 3 years and done an amazing job, and we will really miss her, but she's promised to not be a stranger. So Melissa, again, thank you for all of your work. And we will not let you completely escape our grasp. So again, thank you very much. Next, please. Here are our contact details, particularly for Tamara and I. And as you heard, we are trying to find a executive director and an intern. So we will be expanding that list. So I think that's the last slide. correct, tomorrow? Great. Let's go on to our first speaker, which is Clewat. Marco, I will let you introduce yourself and get started, and I will be timing.